It's time for the BSing with the Guys live podcast.
It is time for the BSing with the Guys live podcast. Thank you all for joining us. Stay with us. We are going to break down Trump's State of the Union address. We're going to kind of get into what the critics or these quote-unquote fact checkers are saying about some of the points he was making. I also want to get into what may be proof that friend of the show, or former friend of the show, Jeffrey Epstein, that he may actually still be alive. And of course, we'll go wherever else the chats and our crazy ass minds take us. So let's get into it, and we're just going to jump right into Trump's little State of the Union thing. Now, Brad, I think out of the three of us, you're the only one who took the time to watch it. So.
I watched it so nobody would have to. So, yeah, no, it was, in my opinion, I think it was a good speech. I think it was country driven. I just, the Democrats, of course, never seem to amaze, they just, they just Democrats. What else can you say? But, yeah, dude. But, no, it was a good one. And, look, can the country be doing better? Absolutely. Will the country be doing better? One can hope. I hope it does, but it was a good, powerful speech. And I'm glad I watched it, because I'm like most of us, I could probably care less about it. But I just think being a prominent public figure of the media here, it's my obligation.
It is your obligation, Brad.
To watch these kind of things.
Well, because me and Justin aren't doing our homework, so it's your obligation to take up our slack. I like it.
I didn't even know it was happening.
Honestly, I didn't either, as much as I follow this shit. I didn't know until this morning that it had happened. I was like, oh, okay. I was too busy watching like King of Queens and shit last night. I wasn't paying no attention to that. But I think Justin mentioned it earlier before we got on. It was the longest like ever, or at least in 60 years or something they were saying.
Yeah, an hour 48 maybe, something like that.
Which he said he broke his own fucking record. And I wonder if stuff like that's on purpose with Trump,
Probably.
He's got to know that, well, my last one went this long because he's so good at it. I mean, he's as far as public speaking. Mm-hmm. I mean, I almost think he could just talk into the night and just, you wake up the next morning, he's still fucking going at it. Yep, it's amazing, the energy and just how he connects with the crowd and go off cuff and just, I don't know. I don't think you've seen a quote unquote politician like that ever. At least I haven't in my lifetime.
I'm with you.
Everything else is just so well rehearsed and planned out, and there is no going off script with most politicians. So, love or hate Trump, you got to give him credit for that. I mean, he can talk.
Dude, that's a lot of fucking talking. I didn't realize it was like that long. Like I figured longest ever it was going to be like 30 minutes. Fuck yeah. No.
And look, man, you take the clapping out of it and the standing and the this and the that. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'll give the man, but still in all, I would have to say at least an hour and 30-something minutes besides all the clapping and praising. But, dude, he talked, brother.
Yeah, which they do that on everyone, I noticed. They'll stand up and do their whole applause and all that shit. It's
Absolutely.
Like a, Catholic church. You got to stand up every now and then and, go through all that. But, Matt, I see in them comments, brother. I appreciate it. He's liking our new thumbnail there.
And old corn, you just stick around.
That thumbnail was from being lazy. I was like, I don't even know what to fucking title this shit. I'm just going to throw our faces on there and say we're talking about a bunch of nonsense. But anyway, now some of the things Trump was talking about was inflation. He claims is plummeting down to 1.7% in late 2025. The gas being under $2.30, which I don't know. Have we seen that around here? The gas? I don't really check the prices too much.
I just
kind of
get
it.
Burn diesel for the most part, man. But I don't know.
I know they said
let's just put it this way: it's cheaper. It's cheaper than it was under Biden.
Well, they were saying parts of Iowa like $1.85. I'm like, God damn! Like how? Like why is theirs that cheap and we're still over the $2 mark? Like I don't know what.
So let's see.
Isn't that true when you say that, dude? Real quick, isn't that true? Because you go to Iowa or even parts of Mississippi, I know say cheap, but probably most of that, a lot of that oil rolls through Louisiana. A lot of it's refined between Texas and probably Louisiana, and I'm sure like California too refines. But it's like you would think, man, when it's coming in close to you, like us, we should be relatively cheap, unless it's taxes, bro. That's the only thing I can see that would keep the prices up a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Well, real quick in the chats, Corn 1999, he's in hell waiting for his buddy. He's talking about Epstein, but stay with me because I'm going to convince you that he may not be in hell. He may actually be chilling somewhere else. So anyway, what you were saying, Justin?
I'm on Gas Buddy looking at the gas prices, and yeah, the lowest near us, aside from Sam's, is $2.35 a gallon. And the lowest in Louisiana is $2.12, the average being $2.50.
Yeah. Well, so it is down. It is down. Like I said, this $1.85 blows my mind if that's true anywhere. But what else was he claiming? The mortgage cost down $5,000 this year. I haven't bought a house, so I don't know. But, you know, eggs, chicken, beef, rent, autos, all lower. I don't know if I believe that. I mean, lower compared to when? It just seems like everything is up right now. I don't know. Maybe I haven't been paying that much attention.
He said,
if you going back to the Biden administration, I think
probably
so. Reflecting off of, but yeah, mortgage. Yeah. I can see mortgage being down. I mean, they lowered the rates, man, so that's going to help, you know. And more is to come, man. Once they get Powell out and put the other guy in, they're going to drop it again. You know, the rates are going to continually come down. So. The question is real estate prices really going to drop? That's going to be the factor, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, oil production up 600,000 barrels a day. That's a lot of oil. Natural gas at an all-time high. 80 million barrels of oil secured from Venezuela. That's why they went over there. So they wanted that oil, baby. It's ours. More Americans working than ever, according to what Trump is saying. Jobs added, 2.4 million people off of food stamps. Now, that's good. I mean, but if we're saving all that with tax, give me some of it back. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I don't know. Of course, there is, fact checkers, so to say, on the other side. You talk about the inflation, he's claiming it's plummeting to 1.7. Prices of gas, as we spoke, under $2.30. Of course, there are going to be people that don't want to agree with that. So I know if you're talking about the inflation, they're saying it's exaggerated and misleading, that inflation has eased around 2.1%, not 1.7%. Yeah. But it was already declining, according to them, from the 3% when Trump took office in January. So that's what they're claiming, that he was a little bit over-exaggerating with that.
And I believe that. I kind of agree with that. When you look at inflation, when you look at lowering interest rates, of course, what they have to do when they lower interest rates, turn the printing presses on, they have to do quantitative easing, start printing money, and that's just throwing more money into the supply. And of course, inflation is going to go up when it comes to that. So I don't know about 1.7, but
do you think they're calculating that based off of how it's been going down? Because it was 2.7 in November, 2.7 in December, 2.6 average. So we had 2.7 in December and then 2.4 in January.
Yeah.
And February would be available in about 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Well, like Matt said, it's still down either way.
Oh, yeah, it's down.
I mean, if that's how we want to judge it now, if you want to nitpick and say he was exaggerating or kind of, misleading a little bit, whatever. I mean, he's not going to be the first one to ever do that, I promise you, and he's not going to be the last. But they can't say it's just a blatant lie, or right. They would have said that. So, we'll put a check in the win category on that. Now, the gas prices, like I said, he's claiming under $2.30 a gallon and as low as $1.85 in places like Iowa. Of course, they're calling that misleading, exaggerated. The national average gas price was $2.94 in February, not consistently under $2.30. They say no state averaged that low. He was also talking about the price of the food and autos and mortgage and all being down, and they're saying some food and rent prices have moderated, but he's cherry-picking or overstating the declines. And the mortgage relief exists, but not universally around 5,000 years. So it sounds like they're kind of cherry picking. It's like they're not saying he's really lying about any of this. They're just saying, well, it's not everywhere. Not everybody's seeing those prices. And I mean, so to me, that just shows that what he is claiming is pretty much true. I mean, if that's the best they can do to combat it, I mean,
because according to Gas Buddy, in Iowa, the lowest price is $1.90 a gallon.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, it's not a lie. It may not be consistent across the board, but I don't think
it's not. But that's why he said as low as $1.90 in Iowa, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, when you go to these liberal states like California, or if it's New York or whatever, that gas prices are going to be higher. There's higher taxes involved with it, and road usage and whatever else they decide that they think you can pay. But I mean, short term, I think it's going to be good over the next few years. But it is all just a temporary fix, man. I can just tell you that. And lowering interest rates, as much as it's needed to help the American people because of the debt that we are running in this country, not even on a federal level, but just a personal level. It's the thing. It's a quick fix, but it's not the fixed longevity. So there'll be pain to feel in years to come. Out of all of this. But look, we live in the now, dude. So people want cheaper prices now, and I think he's going to do what he has to do to get the prices down all the way around.
Well, before we continue, I want to welcome everybody watching. If you hadn't hit that subscribe button yet, do it.
Please do.
We're going to get into a little Epstein drama here in a little bit. Right now, just kind of picking apart what Trump was saying during that State of the Union address, giving a little bit of his claims versus what they're saying, and you could take it from there and do what you want with that information. But oil production, he's claiming 600,000 barrels per day. They're saying it's misleading. Of course, they love that word. U.S. production rose 400,000 barrels per day is what they're saying. And, I think he said 80 million barrels secured from Venezuela. They're saying that the Venezuela deal provided access to 50 million barrels via sanctions relief, not 80 million. So I don't know. Cause if Trump would just come right back and say, no, they're wrong. It's 80 million. I mean, what do you do with that? But like I said, what I do like is they cannot come out and just say that none of this is true at all. Like everything's horrible. None of this is true. They can't say that. So at least he's got that going for him.
No, he said it raised by 80 million barrels. 80
million barrels secured from Venezuela.
How much did he say it raised by?
It's 50 million is oil production up 600,000 barrels a day. Now that ain't nothing to do with Venezuela, but that's just what he's saying. They're saying no way, man. It's 400,000.
Is that from when he took office? Is what I'm trying to figure out. Is what he's saying.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Brad might know. He watched it. I didn't watch it. I was just reading over the. I was reading over the bullet points of what supposedly what he said. I don't even know if he said any of this.
Yeah. Well, we definitely need more refineries in this country. I mean, if we're talking about even 600,000 barrels a day refining, we need more than that. I don't think we've really built a brand new refinery here since the 80s or 90s, late 80s or something. But look, I mean, what the Democrats are saying are nothing but rubbish. It's total rubbish of what they're saying. They have nothing positive to say. And if you watched the speech last night, it was, in my opinion, it was a total embarrassment on the Democrat side. Just no kudos, no standing ovations for anybody there,
Didn't they say what was it 50 of them didn't even show up? There were no shows.
It was close. I think it was close to the 60, maybe 70.
It might,
it was up.
Right. There. I knew it was. It was a lot of them. Decide. And look, I don't know. Has it happened on the other side? I mean, did they just not show up for Obama or Biden? I don't remember that being a talking point.
No.
So, I mean, before I really destroy the Democrats for doing that, I don't know. I just don't remember that being anything making headlines that, so many Republicans didn't show up when Obama was State of the Union, So, not saying it didn't happen, but I don't recall that being a issue. Right. It just seems like that's always a one-sided thing. And it's like, who gives a fuck? Don't go. So what? Yeah. Who cares? He's still president. Get over it. But
yeah, you still got 3 more years to deal with him.
One of the claims he made, which I find hard to believe, is 0 illegal entries for 9 months. Most secure border in American history. That part I believe, the most secure border.
Yes.
But 0 illegal entries for 9 months?
I don't believe it.
That's hard, man. That's hard to believe.
I don't believe it.
The fact checkers are of course saying that's false and very exaggerated, which I'm kind of partisan to that. But they're saying border encounters dropped sharply, 85% to historic lows, under 10,000 a month recently, but not 0. 2,500 unauthorized crossings in January 2026 alone. So somewhere these numbers are off. You go from 0 to 2,500, but when I read that, when I'm thinking, there's no fucking way. For one, how do you know? How do you know they don't know. I mean, if you're sneaking across the border, well, then you snuck across the border. Like, you know what I mean? They don't know that. If they knew it, then you wouldn't be fucking getting away with sneaking across the border. So that's a weird claim to make, knowing that people are going to be all over everything you say. But I find it very hard to believe that. I don't think there's a day that goes by that somebody doesn't get across. You know what I mean? And I may be off on that, but I'd be willing to bet that on average, at least every day of the week, somebody's coming across illegal. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Some form of another, way of another. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because
David, David wants to know. First of all, my name is Shane. Justin, say hi.
Hey,
Brad, tell David what's up. He wants to know who these idiots are.
Yeah, fuck off. How about that?
And apparently he's enjoying it enough to be the #1 person in the chats right now. So you've earned the #1 crown, buddy. So thanks for tuning in and joining in on the conversation. That's all we ask. You don't have to agree with everything we say. Join in. Dispute it. Yeah. You can dispute it or just name call. That's the grown-up thing to do.
I like that one. I like that one.
That's how you dispute people's claims, is you name call. That always gets you far. But anyway, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we appreciate you tuning in. Now,
so
like and subscribe.
Real quick,
go ahead.
I have the CBP.gov pulled up, and so the U.S. Border Patrol at large and U.S. Border Patrol at entry apprehensions, Southwest Border total apprehensions for October was 6,500, 59, 52, and 4,900 from October to January, and the at large is 1,400, 1,358, 1,256, and 1,104. So I assume at large would mean they fucking dipped the fuck out and didn't get caught, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be an entry. Yeah.
And where was this? What site are you on?
This is the U.S. Customs and Border Protection.gov.
That's what I mean. I don't understand. Now, I don't know the context behind what Trump was saying, but if it's going by just what I'm reading on plain text here, he said 0. That, I don't know. Like I said, that's a weird claim to make, knowing that it's he could. I think I told Brad before we got on air that Trump could say tomorrow is Thursday, and the Democrats are going to find a way to say no, he's fucking lying. He's a bigot. Somehow he's going to be a bigot for claiming that. So. To say something so false, because I refuse to believe that. I just refuse to believe it, that there's a day that goes by that people aren't sneaking over that border. Now, it may be down a lot. I'll give him that. I mean, he did shut that motherfucker down the best you can.
Right.
So we got to give him that.
0, I don't believe it.
No. What else was he claiming? Murders at lowest in 125 years, down nearly 100% in D.C. this January. Murder rate saw a single largest decline in record history last year. That's what he's claiming. They're saying, of course, that's misleading. Violent crime down 8 to 12% nationally. Homicides projected low, but not the 125-year low that he's talking about. And D.C. homicides fell 28% year over year, not nearly 100%. Largest decline claim, of course, overstated. Yeah, down 100%. That would mean like nobody? That's a crazy claim, but according to the fact checkers, they're lying, which the fact checkers are probably CNN. So, what do you do with that information?
Yeah, take it for what it's worth.
What else did he brag about? Ending 8 wars or conflicts in his first year. The Gaza ceasefire, the Venezuela actions, etc.
Right.
No new U.S. wars. And Iranian nuclear sites totally obliterated, according to Trump. What are they saying on the other side of this story? No, quote, 8 wars were actively ongoing or ending by U.S. action. The Gaza ceasefire held, but not U.S. ended war. That's a weird way to phrase that. It was Venezuela diplomatic sanctions based. Iranian site claims unverified, limited, okay, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. They're just saying there wasn't 8 fucking wars going on at the same time. So, whatever. What else? Yeah. NATO. That's about it that they're fucking... Obama, let's see, insurance claims. He claims Obamacare enriched insurers. Their stocks went up 1,000 to 1,700%.
I believe it.
Yeah, they're saying
100%.
Insurance stock gains span decades with market growth, not solely from the Affordable Care Act. So they're kind of saying, they were kind of gaining before that, which, I mean, I don't know. What has he done to fight the insurance companies? It seems like they're still fucking corrupt and charging people astronomical amounts of money every month to be, you know what I mean? To be part of their fucking system. Yeah. So I don't know what he's done.
Totally revamped, dude. The whole medical, and I'm not talking about going to socialized medicine. You just, dude,
I see what I pay, do, man.
I see what I pay for the insurance I have, and thank God I don't take any medications, but even prescriptions. But supposedly he started something with some low rate in prescriptions, man. So
yeah, Trump RX.
Yeah, which he didn't name, which is he said he never named that. So I don't know.
David, I honestly thank David for joining in. I think that's somebody we know. That's gonna be somebody that we know trolling us.
Am I being punked?
Yeah, it sounds like something one of our fucking quote unquote friends would be doing. But anyway, insurance. I don't know how you fix that, because it's just, I mean, it's capitalizing. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're there to make money. The option is you don't have to have it. That's the way they look at it. So, I mean, what do you do? There's just so much money involved. I mean, the money that they use to lobby these politicians. I mean, I just don't ever see it changing, man. I mean, they're not in it to lose.
Medical industry?
Just and the insurance and how corrupt it is now, and the way that when you hear about it all the time, where people get denied for certain services that they may need, and because they're not in the business to lose money. I get it. Nobody's in business to lose money, but what's the alternative if you don't have fucking health insurance? I mean, you just fucking die. I guess. I don't know, man. It's crazy to think that that's the system we have now. Like you said, socialized medicine, it's not the answer either. No. But there's got to be some middle ground, man. I don't know. It's tough.
I think you can make insurance cheaper. I do a lot. You got to remember when Obamacare put this Obamacare in force. Of course, it was mandated that we have to have it. If not, you were fined.
I think it was like $2,500 or something.
It was about $2,500.
Whatever,
and, here you have healthy young kids out there like, well, I really don't need it. Do I really need it? No, but you have to have it. All in the fact to save, to help 40 million Americans that didn't have insurance, which I still don't understand that with Medicaid and stuff like that. But and I believe a lot of these subsidies that the government was doing was going straight to the insurance companies to help them fund them, and probably kickbacks, I'm sure. So there was something coming back to them to do this. But you're right. I don't know what the answer is to the healthcare system in this country.
Yeah, like how do you force them to charge less? Like, what do you do?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it's the only reason most are in it. You know what I mean? These health insurance providers is to make the billions that they're making. You start taking that from them, then all of a sudden there's no healthcare providers. you know, or insurance providers, I should say. I mean, it's because I get it. I mean, they're only there to make money. And when they have investors or when they have, you know, they're a public company and people are investing it through stocks.
Yes.
Yeah, with shareholders, they're obligated to them now. Well, the shareholders don't want their stock to plummet because this company's taking less money now. You know, they're not going to do it out the kindness of their heart. So, I mean, how do you force a company like that to say, no, there's a cap on what you can charge? Yeah, so I don't know the answer to this shit, man. And that's why a lot of people harp on this socialized medicine like they have in Canada. You know, but then you hear the horror stories about that.
Yes.
I mean, it just turns into a government-run fucking disaster. And that's because it's just you're dealing with a bunch of incompetent people that are just there to do their time, you know, until they can punch out, and that's it. They don't give two fucks about what's going on. You know, I mean, they're just at their job, going through the fucking motions at this government-run entity, just like a DMV or anything else that you go to that's government-run. Well, that's the health care you get now.
Right.
And I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's what I've heard, even from people that are in Canada and places like that. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
Matt, was that from a dentist or just a guy that needed a ditch? Matt says, I did need to pay for my dentures, but I got numbed up and teeth removed for building a dam in an irrigation ditch. So did you do that for a dentist, or was it just like, he was like, fuck it, I'll pull him?
Oh, I see what he's saying. So he did work to have some.
Oh, he said it was a dentist. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah, I just
stupid.
Fucking random dudes like, I'll pull him out for
I'll
you.
pull
shit.
him, motherfuckers. Yeah. Do my
right.
ditch work. Do my ditch work. Let me see. What else? Yeah. On the speaking of we were talking about the zero illegal entries for 9 months, and you know, the kickback to that, or the pushback to that, is the border encounters dropped. Yeah, well, I think I said that 85%, but not zero. And then he was talking about fentanyl deaths and the flow down 56%. Well, what are they nitpicking at? Fentanyl overdose deaths down 42%. Oh my God! Well, they ought to impeach him. You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, good God,
What a piece of shit.
56%. 56. Here's what they say: 56% figure. It cherry picks select data. Like, I don't give a fuck, man. That shit is down a lot. If you're gonna give him that 42%, that's a major. That's a big number.
But I mean, even if he's cherry picking select things, like, they're still good things. No.
That's kind of the point I was making earlier, that they can't 100% dispute any of this. All they can do is say, well, it wasn't 56%, it was 42, you know, so therefore he failed. Yeah. It's like, well, what about the 42% of the overdose deaths that aren't here now? You know, that's massive, man. Because that shit kills a lot of people every year. So you do the 42%, that's a lot of Americans that were able to live. You know what I mean? And for them to give him no credit on that, it just shows you how politics are. It just because it's not about whether he did good or bad. They're never going to look at it from that. It's just, we can't give the other side an ounce of credit. We can't. No matter how many lives were saved.
They're just like, well, you know, the murder numbers are down, but, you know, people get stabbed on trains and still get shot. So, not that great.
Exactly. But, and that's, let me see. That's about it. I mean, I know he talked for an hour and some odd minutes, but that was just kind of the you know, a lot of the points that they pulled out of it. 2.4 million Americans lifted off of food stamps in 1 year. What do they say? And SNAP enrollment dropped 1.8 million. So that's another one.
The motherfuckers don't want to eat lettuce.
Well, but that's another one. Like, instead of giving him credit for, you know, what they're saying is the 1.8 million people that were able to get off of it, it's, well, you know, he kind of over-exaggerated, you know, and that's all they can dispute that with.
Exactly.
And I don't even know if I believe their disputes, because, I mean, when you're up there giving a speech like that, you pull these numbers from somewhere. They don't just come out your ass. I mean, you have speech writers, you have people who do research for you.
Right.
And so somewhere or another, these numbers were pulled from somewhere. You know what I mean? And you know you're going to be scrutinized from every angle. So why would you get up there and just say a bunch of fucking false numbers? Why? Because for one, 1.8 would be good. So why lie and say 2.4?
Right.
You know?
And that's what I was going to say.
No
like,
sense.
I don't think he just got up there and made numbers up off the top of his head. Like, somebody looked into this and gave him numbers. He wasn't, I doubt he was researching it, 2 nights ago. Like I said,
why lie? I mean, why not, if the truth of the numbers that you're pulling up with the fentanyl deaths is, 42% opposed to 56 or whatever, why not just say the 42? That's amazing. Either way.
Right.
So it makes no sense to get up there and lie about some of this shit that they claim he's lying about. It's just odd, man. It's an odd approach that they have with this shit, with these politics and all.
They just cannot give the man any praise, dude. No.
How do you feel about this? I have a video if you're ready.
I am always ready for a video.
About this.
I'm just looking at his face.
As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, homeland security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice. We'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money.
Come on, Trump, get to it.
Getting paid. It's a shame.
No, I want to hear it. I want to hear
think about it.
I didn't hear any of this last night.
A pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans a chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislature to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
How you like that? Say no more.
Imagine not liking that.
I know.
Say no more.
Did you pull up the whole address, Justin?
Nope.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, is that bitch hollering?
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yep.
That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties.
So, brother.
That's when she was relent. That's what she was
screaming.
It's okay to marry my brother.
Yeah, I married my brother. So what were you pulling up?
So that was him. Like, if you agree that basically our jobs as politicians are to serve the American people,
to protect, and
stand
serve
up
the
and
American
agree.
people.
If you agree with that, stand up. And nobody on the Democrat side stood up. So that's just not their fundamental belief. Is that their job is to, they work for us. Their job is to make our lives better. Supposed to be, but
no.
Whether they do or not, that's one thing. But they don't even believe that should be part of their job.
Yeah. Yeah, they when he brings people out there that have lost loved ones to, a lot of the illegals, they refuse to even stand up for those people. That's what I mean. The politics, when they get involved in that, it's just disgusting to watch. It's like they lose all decency and just morals. It's all about, not giving the other side any praise at all. It's crazy. Now, Justin, I thought I would pull up the other video. That's the one I want to see.
Brad, did you? I want to know if Brad saw this part.
So stupid.
I didn't see that part. No.
Oh my God. What are we doing?
I love
Fucking
it.
AI.
So beautiful.
Oh yeah, because I think she was the only one causing any kind of chaos, huh? From what I saw, at least.
Yeah.
It was just her dumb ass hollering and shit. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I didn't watch it last night. I must admit, but I did catch the highlights at least. So it's all that matters, right?
Oh,
That's
look,
all that
I do
matters.
have another video we can watch real quick. It kind of pertains
Pull it up
to
real
all
quick
this.
before we move on to some Epstein stuff. We're about to get into the Epstein stuff.
Oh,
I'm excited. I love the Epstein talk.
yes.
College kids are telling us Trump's State of the Union didn't go so well. The only problem? It's tomorrow. Rate Trump's State of the Union speech 1 out of 10. 1's the worst, 10's the best. Negatives. And why? I think we all know a lot of reasons. And what about the State of the
That's
Union
good.
last night? 1 to 10.
It was like a 1 or 2. I mean, it was all over the place.
Probably just give it a 0 as well.
Gonna give it a 1.
And why do you say 1?
I don't think he's very articulate.
How did Trump do at the State of the Union?
0.
I'm gonna be real, I didn't watch it.
I didn't really watch it much. I watched it for a little bit, but turned it off.
The State of the Union last
Watched
night.
it a little bit.
How was that? 1 to 10.
No, it was last night. I thought it was tomorrow.
No, you're good. You passed the test. Good
Oh,
job. College kids are telling us
The worst part is they'd have probably got me too. I had no clue it was even coming on. Like, what'd you think of Trump? Oh, it was fucking great. It was great. I loved everything he said. He'd be like, what part? I'd just go, the border, man. The border is fucking great.
I'd have
At
been
least I
like,
could have winged my way through it.
what? State of the like, damn. I must not follow it. They're like,
That is funny,
it's a 1, 0, negative.
Yeah,
points.
that is funny. But just anything that, if it's to do with Trump, shit hadn't even happened yet. That was terrible. It was fucking terrible. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Anyway. Anything else on that before we move on to some Epstein? All right. Well, let's get into some Epstein stuff, dude. It was, I'm listening to a friend of the show, Joe Rogan. I was listening to him talking, and somebody, whatever guest he had on there, had brought up some of these things in his email about Epstein and the autopsy report. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. So I looked into it and kind of was looking, to see what exactly they were talking about. And because I've always been, I don't know, a little questionable, because I know some people, Epstein's not dead. I know Brad, I know you've mentioned that a few times. You don't believe he's even dead. I was always like, I think he is. I just don't think he did it himself. Well, now, I mean, I am really like on board with believing that this guy did not pass away in that prison. I believe he was ushered out. For one, they had that whole ordeal with the decoy body that they admitted to, claiming that they just didn't want the press seeing him being removed from the prison, so they made a fake body so the press could take a picture of that or whatever their fucking excuse was. So that right there was like red flag number one. Well, then I'm listening to this shit, and let me see. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me pull up the file. Let me share it. All right. Here it is, right here. So we get into this, okay?
Let's do it.
Now, this is the actual autopsy report. Before we get to that, here's a conversation between some guy named Richard and Jeffrey, okay? Now,
Dick.
the top of that, between Dick and Jeffrey. It's saying whatever Richard was talking about, it says exactly, and it's not clear. Let's see. It's not clear what other effects these hormones might have, aren't replayed, blah, blah, blah. And so the advantage to taking testosterone, there are two different things. You can have high testosterone and still have a need for Viagra because you don't have a prostate, right? Jeffrey says correct. Okay? Well, then you scroll down to the bottom of it, and the LabCorp report is showing that he had his prostate removed, which is what that is, a prostatectomy or whatever, however you pronounce it. Point is, they removed it, right? Well, then they show the autopsy report, and the doctor doing the autopsy report on supposedly Epstein's body is talking about how the prostate is slightly enlarged.
Oh.
But in the emails, he's saying he didn't even have one. So whose fucking body were they examining?
Dead guy?
Exactly. Or was there really a dead guy? Are they just making up shit on the autopsy
I believe
report?
It's made up, brother.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you can take that how you want. Some people may say you're fucking crazy, that you're digging too deep. But why would he say he doesn't have a prostate, but then the fucking medical examiner is claiming, that the prostate was enlarged? Like what prostate? That's crazy, dude. And the testes are unremarkable. So you take that how you want. But, yeah, unremarkable nuts. But what else is this to lead anybody to believe? I mean, is there any excuse for that? Considering these emails, I mean, they're official out of the dump. I mean, I don't know what.
Right.
How do you take that without going, being this fucking tinfoil hat wearer, going down these crazy rabbit holes? You know what I mean?
Maybe he bought a prostate in Mexico or something.
Afterwards, he got a new prostate.
Yeah, like right before he got locked up.
No, man, I don't know, dude. I didn't want to begin to believe that. I was like, there's no way. All right, y'all are going too far with this shit that he's not dead.
Right.
Then you start reading shit like that, man, and it's like, I don't think there's any way he's not alive. I just, I don't know. I don't know what else to think when you start seeing reports like that come out, and like I said, basically telling you that I don't have no prostate, but then the medical examiner's like, well, Jeffrey Epstein's prostate was slightly enlarged, and so does that. Now you start going down. Okay, well, were they cutting someone else's body up, or were they ever doing an autopsy at all? Or were they just making up shit to put out there with an autopsy,
Sounds like they were making shit up, to be honest with you,
Yes, it really does, man.
Absolutely. I just, he was a powerful man, man. He knew a lot of people, well connected, and had a lot of money, and he had a lot of shit on people. And I don't believe he's dead. I really don't. I think he's chilling somewhere, Lebanon, Israel, something like that.
Well,
just
like
we talked off air about Maxwell, is that really her in prison?
Well, the longest running and most persistent theory is that, was part of this whole, Israel's Mossad intelligence agency to compromise the U.S. and global elites for Israel's strategic benefit. So a lot of people believe that he was somehow ushered off over there, I don't know, man. It's harder. It's getting harder and harder to believe that man actually died. I mean, like I said, started off just, he didn't kill himself. They killed him. But then it's like, I don't even think they did that. I just don't. I don't know why they wouldn't have if he's really got all this shit on everybody. Like you figured it'd make sense to take somebody out like him. But I don't know, man. When you start seeing autopsy reports that conflict with organs that, claiming they're looking at organs that he's saying in emails that he didn't have. I mean, the fuck? I don't know how else to take that. That's odd, man. That one blew my mind. I'm like, oh shit, like this stuff may be as deep as what some of these quote unquote conspiracy nuts are saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
What? No, I was going to
say,
I'm reading the chats. Did you see that video of Maxwell in Ontario with her brother? No. Can we find that video? Because I want to see it now. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it here, because I do want to see it. But I'm trying to see. Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, had longstanding rumors of Mossad ties himself. As far as going back to this theory that he's over there in Israel. So, I mean, man, I don't know. A lot of it's starting to make sense, stuff that you would have considered crazy a while back. But,
have you seen John Kiriakou talking about whether he thinks Epstein was a spy? And he's an ex-CIA agent that got arrested for espionage because he blew the whistle on the advanced interrogation techniques.
No, I didn't see what he was saying about that. Well,
and he's cool. I like watching his stuff, but I can pull it up if we don't have anything else up at the moment.
No, you can. Pull it up. Pull it up. I want to see. And you said he was talking about
whether he thought Epstein was an Israeli spy.
Oh. Yeah. Well, pull it up or either. Yeah, I was gonna say pull it up or break it down for us.
Do you think Jeffrey Epstein was a spy?
I believe very strongly he was a spy, yes.
And who do you think he was working for?
The Israelis. I'm confident it was the Israelis.
Why?
Jeffrey Epstein is kind of the stereotypical example that they give you in training for what's called an access agent. This is a different kind of recruit. If you're a foreign intelligence service and you want information, like close-in information from a former president, from the CEO of the biggest company in the world, from a member of the British royal family, you're not going to recruit these guys. You're not going to recruit Bill Clinton or Bill Gates or Prince Andrew. So you do the next best thing. You recruit somebody who has regular access to them. And that person that you recruit is going to need to make these people feel comfortable and appreciated. And so you give him plenty of money. So he has this house on an island, or he has the whole island. And maybe you bring in young girls, you get them in compromising positions, just in case you need to use what's called compromat, compromising pictures. Yeah. We know now that Jeffrey Epstein's house had hidden video cameras in literally every room, including the bathroom.
But there's no video footage, according to our
why would he care what was going on, unless it was to use that information against people? Only the Israelis and the Russians use extortion as a motivator.
So would they have made Jeffrey Epstein rich?
Yeah.
In order to give him that access?
Yes.
How could they have done that?
Oh, that's easy. Governments are the only ones really that can launder money unfettered. And you can also do it through real estate, through fine art, and through horses. Those are the three easiest ways to launder money.
Presumably,
kill that
he would
real
have
quick.
Spoken out.
Kill that for one. I don't know whose music is that for one. Before we get a fucking
theirs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm surprised they ain't fucking pulled the stream down yet.
I didn't even hear the music.
Yeah. No, I've heard that theory for sure, man. As far as that, just getting people in high positions and compromising positions to where they can say, "Hey, we got this on you now."
Right, and like I said, John Kiriakou, he's a super liberal, ex-CIA agent, and he does a lot of podcasts where he talks about kind of what the American government's up to and this and that. So he's kind of got the behind the scenes know of how these governments work. Like he was the guy, he'd be sent to the Middle East to go, interrogate terrorists or try to find them and basically just spy on shit, for a while. And then, like I said, he didn't like the torture part, so blew the whistle and went to prison.
Blew the whistle. Oh, so that's he was a bleeding heart liberal.
Yeah.
He didn't like him torturing, huh? Yeah. What do they call it? Advanced interrogation?
It was the advanced interrogation techniques.
Waterboarding. What's wrong with that, dude?
Yeah. What's wrong with that, man? If it stops a terrorism attack, do it.
I think they gave him 5 years for calling out the program.
Yeah. Well, either way, I believe there's way more to all of this Epstein shit. Like I said, I was hesitant to kind of dig too deep into it because I thought a lot of people were out of their minds. But bro, man, you start just reading more and more about this shit, man. Your boy ain't dead. I'm sorry, he ain't dead. And then when you see, apparently our fucking own Department of Justice is behind a lot of the bullshit. I mean, there's something going on, and it's way bigger than just this country. You know what I mean? But then it's like, why all the child stuff? If it was this whole spy, like it just seems like it turned into this huge brothel of with underage girls, being the servants there. It was just weird. I don't know where. I mean,
would the compromising photos and videos not kind of explain that?
Yeah, but why would he be in? You know what I mean? Like, it seems like everybody was into it. I mean, for one, the way they're talking, which a lot of it was just barely underage. So I guess you could fool some of them like that. Like they don't know till after the fact. They go do something, and he's recording it without them knowing, and they're like, oh, by the way, that girl you just slept with was 16. You're like, oh, fuck, because you didn't know. You thought maybe 18, right. 19 years old, But then you start reading into some of this shit, and a lot of it was children, like obvious children.
Yeah.
So then it's like, why? Like, I don't know what turned into where it just became this big pedo island. It's I don't know, man. The whole fucking thing is weird.
It is weird. I think when you look into the whole child trafficking, and as we hit on last week before, whatever, last cast, I should say, adrenochrome, organ harvesting. I think it's that deep when you get into the global network of that, and and it could be maybe he was tied up in it some form of another, I don't know if you remember New York City, the Jews that were underground with, trafficking children. So, I think it's that deep, brother. I think, and the question still stands, there's 85,000 illegal children that came across this border that are missing. I'd like to know where they are,
Were they trafficking children down there?
I
heard they were just having dance music parties.
They were just having dance music parties down in the sewers or whatever. A bunch of fucking Ninja Turtles just hanging out.
Yeah,
dude. And I think a lot of us, including myself, I always judged all of that stuff from my mind. Like nobody, nobody's doing that. Like who would do that? And then you start really looking into stuff and realizing that they got some sick people in this fucking world.
There's some sick fucks, dude. Absolutely. So
when you step out of when you decide to step out of your reality and say, well, let me look at this from a different point of view, and it's like, okay, these people are fucking sick and depraved and evil, and I don't know, man. I couldn't imagine being involved in anything like what's being talked about with this Epstein stuff, but I also couldn't imagine just touching any child inappropriately, and that shit happens every single fucking day in this country. Right. So when you stop looking at it from what I would do opposed to what others are doing, I mean, I'm starting to believe 90% of the fucking, these conspiracy theories that are coming out about this shit, man. And I used to try not to go down too deep down these rabbit holes, but bro, it's almost like it's being proven daily that there's a lot of truth to this shit, man. And I'm going to start, instead of giving these assholes a benefit of the doubt, I'm going to fucking believe it until they prove otherwise, Yeah.
Well, do y'all think this is Maxwell in Ohio? I think I found the video.
Oh, pull it up. I want to see it.
I muted it because there's music.
Why the fuck is there music? Well, can you just turn the volume down?
Boom.
It's not. Remove it and then add it again.
That's the picture I was telling you about, Shane, off air. I've seen that picture. Yes.
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see. So, where's that first picture? So this is the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, the nose is what stood out to me.
Absolutely. 100%.
So, well, without sound, I'm confused. Who, the lady in blue, is
supposedly Maxwell.
Where?
In Ohio. Not in prison.
When? Oh. Maxwell spotted. Yeah, I don't know, man. The lookalike thing is hard because I mean there's a lot of people that can resemble other people. So it's hard to go down that one. You know what I mean? If that's where that people are getting to, is that what people are claiming with that video, that's her? That's supposed to be her out of prison in Ontario?
Apparently, that's what's pulling up when I look into it. Matt says there's another video.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's tough to do with that because there's, if you look around enough, you can find people that resemble each other and say, look, if Ghislaine had a nose job, this would be her. And I'm just like, well, yeah.
Right.
If I cut my fucking head off and put somebody else's on, it would be that person's. But, so it's that, is kind of like,
that was Ontario. I was saying Ohio, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that I did. If you look what Matt is saying, no, was a different video. They called her by her name and she turned around. And I think that was Canada. Yeah. And I remember seeing that video. Yeah. The person called her name and she turned around and said, no, who are you? Basically, and walked off, So, yeah, I don't think she's dead either, dude. So, and I mean, she ain't dead, but I don't think she's in prison,
If I'm walking in somewhere and somebody hollers Frank, I'm probably not going to look, unless the person's hollering, then it's going to be like, who the fuck is he hollering? Like, shut the fuck up, But yeah, I don't know. So that is weird. I don't know. Depends on the context. I'd have to see that video to make a good judgment on that. But anyway, another thing, I mean, with the Epstein stuff, did y'all see all the fucking storage lockers that they found?
No.
I mean, there was apparently he was tipped off of the impeding police raid at his Palm Beach, Florida mansion. And, he decided to take a ton of shit and disperse it to different storage units around the area, around the country. And there was at least 6 of them nationwide that they found scattered across the United States. There was, tons of shit in him, and they found like 3 computers. This is one specific in Palm Beach. They found 3 computers, 29 address books, a 3-page list of masseuses in Florida. No big deal, but they found sex slave manuals, VHS tapes and DVDs described as eroticizing teenagers and teens. I mean, dozens of pornographic magazines. They said it was a huge porn stash, box loads of sex toys, letters and lab results for different things. So, I mean, and that was just in one of these things.
Right.
So, apparently this man has some evidence stashed, all over the fucking country, man. It just makes this shit, it goes deeper and fucking deeper, man, every day. And I've mentioned it before, I try to stay away from this shit. I'm like, we're not going to talk about Epstein on this one. We're not going to talk about Epstein tonight. And then the next thing you know, I get online.
You can't help it.
And it's like, boom,
You can't help it.
It's disgusting, man.
Yep.
It's disgusting because, there's so much of the truth that we will never know in the wrongdoings by God knows who,
Right.
And we know it to be fact that there was just a bunch of disgusting shit going on that island that involved children. And this is what our people are saying.
If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
Tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Video for years because I want people to know how disgusting.
Yep.
The Department of Justice is right now. The fucking Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, they're fucking disgusting. They're just as guilty as Epstein if they're gonna sit up there and run with the fucking lies that they're running with now. Like there was nothing to fucking see. Right. It's disgusting that's the type of people that are running this country.
Yep.
I can't stand it, man. I can't stand it because, and then, we talked about it before, but I would like to give Bongino the credit and say that's why he stepped away from that bullshit.
I believe it.
I want to believe he saw what was going on and wanted no part of it.
Right.
Like, I'll go back to my fucking normal life, making millions of fucking dollars, doing my little show and everything. Fuck this nonsense. I think he saw what was going on and the type of shit that goes on behind closed doors and wanted no fucking part of it. And I know, like I said, I'm going to give him that credit right now until proven otherwise. Cause he sure did decide he wanted no longer did he want to be part of the shit. He never really came out and said why, as far as, anything negative going on, but something happened, and every interview you saw of him talking about Epstein's looked like a fucking hostage video. You know, and when you look at Kash Patel, it's a total opposite. He has no problem lying to the world about what went on and what they actually collected from Epstein Island. And it just shows you the type of fucking person he is. He's part of the system. He's caught up in it. And so is that fucking Pam Bondi.
I agree. I agree. And you sit back and you looked at, I know you said earlier in this podcast that why wouldn't they kill somebody like Jeffrey Epstein and get rid of him and be done with him? But I sit back and I look at it, if it was like Virginia Giuffre or even himself, that, hey, if I die, all of this is coming out through dead man trigger or whatever it might be. And that's what kind of makes me believe that this man is still alive, and he's wherever he has to be, Israel, Lebanon, wherever he's hiding out at. And I find it interesting. I read a piece, man, probably a couple of weeks ago that was just ironic that, a week before he died or supposedly killed himself, he started a trust. It was the trust 1953, which I believe is the year he was born, and that he transferred like $570 some odd million into this trust. So when I sit here and I look at this, and it's like he's too powerful of a person with what he has on these people, and it's like, well, I believe that he has to live, because if we kill this guy, all of this comes to light through one form of another. Same thing like with Maxwell, So I don't think he's dead. I never did think he was dead. I just think it was just a big hoax and trying to, befuddle the American people. Some of them went for it. I'm not. And I do think it's sick. Yeah.
I got to say, I mean, you've been saying it from, like I said, damn near the beginning.
I just don't think he's dead, man.
But I didn't know if that was just coming from a standpoint of I don't want to believe anything the government's saying, or if you had a reason to believe that.
Yes, and that's kind of my reason,
Right. And it could be. I mean, it could be as simple as that. You just don't trust anything the government says. I was just looking for a little bit more substance than I just don't believe it because the government's saying it. Because, I don't trust the government either. But, I was like, well, damn, maybe they killed him, but I didn't think they whisked this dude off and he's out living in a foreign land right now.
I believe he is.
That's exactly what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. And for anybody who's just tuning in, the main reason is the autopsy report, where they catch him in an email saying he has no prostate. It's been removed, but yet the person doing the autopsy is telling you what a prostate looked like in quote unquote Jeffrey Epstein. So that's the main thing that really was like, oh my God, something is going on here. They're either lying about doing the autopsy or they cut somebody else up. Who did they put in his place? You know?
It's very true. And too, nuts. Man, when I listen to all of this, when he unalived himself, when you sit back and you whatever it is. And when you sit back and you listen to the government officials, or like Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro, and he wasn't Mossad, he had nothing to do with the Israeli government, and that just gives me more proof to say, that's who he was tied to. I don't trust any of them. The more they deny, the more likely is that it's real, So
no, I'm with you, dude. Like I said, I'm done giving these assholes a benefit of the doubt, man. When I start seeing these conspiracies, so they say, I'm like, that's it. It's the fucking truth. I mean, we kind of poked fun at it a few episodes back, talking about them eating babies and shit on that island, but I don't put nothing past these fucking freaks. No. The more shit that starts coming out, and I think it's just beginning. I mean, we try our hardest not to keep talking about it. I know somebody in the chats earlier was like a dead horse, and I assume they mean it's like beating a dead horse with the Epstein stuff. But every day it's producing more and more fucking content. Can't help it. Like I said, I went into this week thinking, all right, well, I don't want to talk about the Epstein shit. We've done that enough. And then all of a sudden I'm seeing these fucking emails with contradicting, as far as whether he had a prostate, and the autopsy fucking doctor saying that his was enlarged, and he's on the email saying he don't even have one. So then I'm like, well, what else? You got to talk about it. You can't help it. It just brings to light and hopefully wakes somebody up to just how corrupt of a fucking system we're living in, and everything you think that this world might be, it's probably the total fucking opposite, man. It is. Everything is just fucking nuts, man. I don't know. It blows my fucking mind.
And when you go into the whole eating babies and this, I mean, look, it is for the average person like ourselves and the average person around. That's hard to believe, man, that some form of cannibalism would be going on. You would, right? Yeah, you would think that would be done, and we wouldn't do that. But and that's still in my mind. That's still hard to believe. But the whole child trafficking and taking babies for adrenochrome, baby blood, organs. Yes, I believe that is real, and I believe it still goes on today. Go to Middle Eastern countries, and it's probably going on where they're doing that, and they're selling them on the black market if it's kidneys or hearts or livers or whatever it is. So why wouldn't it happen? And I'm not saying all of it went down at Epstein Island, but different parts of the world. It goes. I believe it goes on. I haven't seen it, but when you got all of these children, you got 600,000 people a year go missing in this country. A lot of them are found. A lot of them aren't found. So when you look into it, what's happening to these people? Are they killed? Are they being trafficked? Or what? And it's a big thing. And
Well, and you made a good point, because if you just focus on what went down, over here, it's like, I don't know if they were really doing that, eating babies and all. But, when you start talking about what goes on overseas, they got a lot of crazy shit that goes on in other places outside of the United States. I mean, a lot of just shit you watch or hear about, like, what the fuck? That's what they do over there? Some of that shit may be normal in some places, So, yeah, it's not too far-fetched to believe that shit's going on somewhere.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have no problem believing that shit at all. I mean, you hear some of the
just the
crazy
whole
shit.
sense of, too, even something that's so off topic as far as slavery, how much the United States and the white people get beat up for slavery in this country, that we ended it, of course. But do you know that still goes on? You can look what the Muslims do to the African population. They are still enslaving black people in Africa. So, so when people think, well, it's not in my realm, it's not in my everyday life, but it still goes on. If it's organ harvesting, baby blood, adrenochrome, sacrifices, and a transfer of people for work or whatever they do with them. Yeah, it's a thing that goes on, and it's something that, it's just not in everybody's foresight. We're so, in this country, man, we are so out of the mainstream because we all worried about our lives and our day and this and that and doing it. But if you really look into it and you read, it's a sick world, brother. It is a sick world.
You look past our borders, I mean, there's enough
absolutely
just disgusting shit going on in this country. And then when you decide to, like I said, look outside of our borders, I mean, there's places where a 12-year-old can get married. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Right. And we look at that like, what the fuck? That's a baby. But it's just not how it is in some places. So what's to say it's not normal to sit there and sacrifice fucking babies for this secret sauce that they want that's in their blood, I mean, is it that far-fetched to believe that shit would go on? So
not
then
at all,
dude. These
dude.
Fucking elites that can afford to be a part of all this and say, well, I want to get younger. I want to see if that's true, because that's the rumor about it. It's how to recapture your youth. It's the fountain of youth, so to say. Well, fuck. I got enough money. Let's try it. Well, then all of a sudden your morals 100%. Go out the fucking window, and then you don't care what's happening to these babies. It's just sick to think, but it's probably not too far fetched to believe that it's going on somewhere.
It's not. Right. Exactly right. Exactly right.
Anyway, Justin, what flavor baby would you eat? Probably Mexican.
I was thinking that, actually.
Y'all look crazy.
I don't want the just bland white babies.
No, need something with
flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway. Let's pull up a Was It Justified video, man. Let me give you the
let's do it.
Context to it before I start it. But this guy, it's blurry as fuck right now, but don't worry, that's going to change. Stay with me. Let's read it. It says, motorcyclist who killed a driver in a road rage fight arrested for simple homicide. So the guy was arrested for homicide. Now look how this fight started. Let's check it out. All right. Guy's on a motorcycle. Seems like he's minding his business. Dude runs up with a bat. Decides to start fucking wailing on this dude. Falls to the ground. Dude gets on top of him. Hits him a few times. Boom. Fight's over. Well, apparently the guy died. So how the fuck do you press charges on somebody that was getting beat with a baseball bat? And I mean, can you say he went too far? I mean,
no,
because it seems like as soon as the dude hit the ground, he might have threw one more shot.
Hit his head, right?
Like, boom, okay, the fight's over. That's it.
And then he was done.
Yeah, guy happens to pass away. Like, how is that?
He ended the threat.
It's justified. Absolutely.
And he used less force than what was being brought at him.
Yeah, so that is just, it was the oddest headline when I was reading. I'm like, how do they charge you anybody with that? When somebody pulls out a baseball bat and starts beating your ass with it, you get the best of them with your hands, and now you're facing going to prison for killing
Where's
somebody.
this at?
It's going to be somewhere fucking retarded. Watch, let's see.
Probably.
Let me see what it's saying here. Where did it happen? Autopsy revealed. Well, you can see by the names, Dario Laos or whatever name. Death was traumatic, and a prior heart attack was ruled out. The accused, Augustin Perron, refused to make a statement before prosecutor so-and-so. Possible sentence 8 to 25. Well, I don't know exactly where it went on, but you can tell by the names. And the original post was translated from Spanish, so but either way, it doesn't matter where you're at. Like, how do you not, like, you can't defend yourself against this? I mean, what else are you supposed to do?
God. Yeah.
Yeah, because
what
I mean,
are you supposed to do?
Like, it's not like he was in a car and they were like, you should have drove away instead of getting out or something. Like, he was on a motorcycle.
Yeah. And then it's like, I can see if the guy stood over him and just started stomping him after the guy was down and out and all, No, he looks like he hit him with a couple little shots. I mean, let's see. He falls, one shot, maybe another one when he was out of camera. But that was it. I'm like, look, dude, you want to pull a bat on the motherfucker? Well, you lost that fight. Get over it.
Yeah.
So that's an odd one. I thought that was crazy. I'm like, how the fuck did they charge anybody?
That they arrested
Justified,
him.
dude.
Yeah,
for sure.
Man, like you
Should
said,
be.
it wasn't
Anyway.
over here. It doesn't seem to be. I don't know if there's a state in this country that would have charged that guy. Well, unless he
California.
defended himself against a minority. Then he'd have been in trouble. He'd have been another Daniel Penny. But as far as it being, technically fucking murder, I don't know. He had no other choice but to defend himself or die. Yeah. What's up, Paul?
What it seems like.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, and he may beat it, but it's just to think that there's somebody in the justice system that looked at that and said, "Yeah, I think we got something here."
Yeah,
that was just weird to throw charges at the guy. I mean, I don't know what else you do. Are you supposed to just sit there and get your ass beat with a baseball bat?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you just let them kill you. Like, oh no, I don't want to go to jail.
Well, at least you're not going to prison.
True.
The way they look at it. But anyway,
yeah, that's
what
nuts.
else you got, Justin? Anything else crazy?
Man.
What else? Give me something good, dude. Give me one of your random fucking I know, like we talked about earlier, T.I.'s ugly ass son is fighting with 50 Cent, but I don't think anybody really cares about that motherfucker. Yeah. Like, fuck them both. Let them fight. I don't know. That might be it, man. So we may have to call it a night. I'm all out of entertainment. I'm done. So let's I don't know. Let's wrap it up. If you ain't hit subscribe yet, do it now. For anybody paying attention still, we appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
What is tonight? Wednesday? Yeah.
Yes.
We'll be back at it Friday, running our mouths, hanging out. Like I said, unless Justin's got anything else that'll just boggle my mind. Anybody in the chat's got anything, man? We got time to kill. What y'all want to talk about? Let's talk about something interesting, man. Let's talk about something interesting. I did find out I might be the only person in the world to not know that you don't actually physically touch anything, so to say. Like in the sense that we, look at touch. I don't know if you knew that, Brad.
Is the truth.
I told it to Justin, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I knew that." But I guess
interesting
on a molecular level.
Yeah, like you're right, and I'll try to explain it as
it's basically your everything's made up of atoms. We know this, right? And so you
got to start there. You got to understand everything's made up of atoms, correct?
Yeah, so your atoms positive, negative charges, they push away from other atoms when you go to touch something. So there's
like
a
magnetic
tiny little gap between you and everything you've ever held or quote unquote touched. So you've never made a full physical contact with something where your atoms are touching it.
Yeah. And to me, I was like, that kind of blew my mind. I started that's
mind blowing.
I'm like, there's no way. It's like, it didn't make sense because as I'm reading this, I'm holding my phone one night. And like I said, there's probably plenty of people out there like, yeah, I knew that. They probably saw the meme already. So, but that's how I came across it, as somebody was like, you actually never really touched something. And I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? So then I started looking into it and I'm like, oh, okay. Makes sense. But then I started asking it all kind of questions. Well, then, why is it that you feel hot and cold? And shit like that. And
it's the change of temperature that you're feeling. So,
right. And it's not so much you're feeling the object, you're feeling the change in temperature. Because
technically everything in the universe is warm, right? It may be colder than other things, but absolute zero is the coldest you can get. So anything warmer than that would be considered warm.
Okay.
You can never get to absolute zero. We haven't been able to get there yet, but all being, chilling something is you're just taking heat away, right? You're never really cooling things.
Yeah.
In a sense. So there's that, Yeah,
and look, Paul, I thought I was the only dumb one in the world, but he's saying he's never heard of that. But it is, if you really look into it, it's fascinating when it's just, somebody that's of course, way smarter than we are, can probably explain it a little bit better, but it is true that technically anytime you're holding anything or touching anything, you're not physically touching it at all. There's always a tiny fraction of a space between the object and you. And it's due to like your atoms are acting like, like trying to push two magnets together. They will not touch. You know what I mean? They cannot. It's almost impossible. But if you really start getting into it, that's kind of how I want to say the atomic bomb, like they force these atoms to collide.
Yeah.
And when they do, they explode. So that's where, some nerd figured that out.
Yeah, they ram a rod of one radioactive material into a ball of another, and it creates a reaction, and then that reaction creates a reaction. So it's basically losing, I believe it's a neutron. It's shooting it off, and that causes another reaction of the same type and another reaction, and then it explodes.
Yeah.
I'll never think of a handshake. I'll think of it differently.
That means you could beat off your friend and never really touch each other. So it's not gay, dude.
So stupid. I'll let you handle that one. But no, but look, I was laying in bed and I came across that. So then I went down this fucking just mind fuck rabbit hole of looking at everything. Like, so wait a second. I mean, so that wall, if I go punch that fucking wall and put my fucking fist through that sheetrock, I'm not even touching the sheetrock. You never once touch it. And I'm thinking, this blows my fucking mind.
So, yes, and that kind of leads into so there is a small probability that you could actually pass through another object if both of your atoms aligned perfectly and they didn't collide, that you could go straight through them. So it says in quantum mechanics, it's possible for individual atoms or particles to pass through, quote unquote, another object via quantum tunneling. But the probability is astronomically small for macroscopic objects like your hand or a table. So the figure is 1 in 5.2 to the 61st power, which is a lot of fucking zeros. And that's a rough statistical calculation based on the number of atoms and the probability of each one tunneling through without interacting. So 1 in 5.2 to the 61st power that you go to slap your table and your hand goes straight through it.
But it's possible.
It is.
So is there anything that I mean, have they ever done that with any? Have they been able to make anything do that?
Apparently nothing on the macroscopic scale. So anything bigger than, an atom.
Right.
They haven't been able to, but it is a possibility. But let's see what 5.2.
Y'all have blown my mind tonight, dude.
Bro, and this ain't nothing because I can't even remember half of the shit because I'm telling you, I went down a big fucking hole. I was asking this motherfucker, I was on AI like, okay, well, why does this happen when you touch this? Or why does it feel like this? Or why does fire burn you? Or why, what about this?
Right.
And it just all boils down to you can ask any way you want to ask it. You are not physically ever touching anything, ever. When you're sitting in your fucking chair right now, your body is not touching that chair. You're hovering, believe it or not.
Wow.
You are slightly hovering right this fucking second. It's crazy. Touch something. Hit your fucking table. You are not touching that fucking table. That's not what's happening.
You have a 1 in this number of your hand passing through that table when you slap it.
That's a big number.
That is a huge number.
Wow.
So that's the chances, but it's possible.
I just slapped it and I didn't go through it.
Well, if you do it that many times,
the chances
are once you'll pass straight through it.
Man, I wish I could.
I
wish I could find it. I can't find the history of when I was going down that fucking hole with Grok on X, because I'm telling you, I must have asked it 100 questions that night. Because it like I said, it really blew my mind because it just changed every way I've thought about touching anything. I mean, it's like I'm laying in bed thinking I'm not even touching this fucking bed right now.
Nope.
I mean, realistically, you're not touching it. You think you are, but you're not even touching the bed when you're laying in it. It's fucking. It amazed me. I'm like, damn, and I don't know. Maybe it's just my simple mind of why I was amazed, but I just could not believe it. I couldn't wrap my mind around it at first because I'm like, it don't make any sense because it hurts. When you punch something, it hurts. You break bones.
Right.
But that's the harder you're swinging, the more that magnetic, that force is trying to push away.
Yeah.
So that's what causes bones to break and shit,
Wow.
It was so fucking weird, man.
Paul says, and what's the term of this? I don't know if there's an exact term. It just
I'm digging down my history right now.
Is there a term for it? Because I've heard the theory and seen the evidence, but I've never heard it called any specific thing.
I'm looking right now if I can find this fucking thing in my history, and I can't. I didn't know we were going to talk about this tonight, or I would have had it pulled up already. We never actually touched comes from the atomic and quantum physics. Here's a clear explanation, blah, blah, blah.
Matt says BS is the term of it. It's true, Matt. It's true.
It's true. It really is. Like I said, that's how they with the whole atomic bomb. I mean, if we were sitting there making our fucking these atoms actually touch each other and boom, I mean, it's crazy, man. The atoms hover a tiny distance away from other atoms, usually separated by roughly the Van der Waals radius or a bit less when you press, I don't know, whatever.
A very tiny amount.
Yeah, very tiny amount. Quick summary. At everyday scales, yes, you, quote, touch things, but, what does it say? Yeah, they put it in parentheses, like, you can say you're touching something, but you're not making contact with it. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
You're just never making contact with anything.
That's
crazy, man.
Yep.
And like I said, that's just something I pulled up real quick. I still can't find that real deep dive I went down because I was trying to answer that question on whether or not there's a name to this, but
yeah, so like when you're just cutting through something, you're just kind of, pushing atoms.
You're pushing
out
the atoms away
because
that was one of the things I asked. Well, what about when you're shot by a bullet or stabbed by a knife? And it's like, well, all it's doing is the atoms that the knife is made out of is pushing away the atoms of your body, and it's causing a cut. And that's it. The knife isn't actually touching your skin at all.
Which is
just
why
the force.
Any cuts under a microscope aren't clean. Like they're super, super jagged because it's just forcing atoms out of the way.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, to the naked eye, they look pretty fucking
It
just
looks crisp.
straightforward cuts, right? But okay, that makes sense too.
That's
microscopically, it looks like you just tore a piece of paper in half. Like that's what every cut looks like.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
Damn it. Man, I'm really irritated. I can't find it. I'm going down my history, and I know I just looked into it at some point this month. I want to say earlier this month, I was just laying in bed, just like, holy fuck! Like I'm looking around the room, and I'm like, okay, what else can I ask this motherfucker? You know, why do things feel soft, and why do some things feel hard, and why do and I'm asking it a million questions, trying to just catch it lying to me about this. You know?
Right.
I'm like, there's no way this is fucking true. No. And so I'm like, okay, well, why is this? And why is that? And AI's like, well, this is why. And I'm like, oh, fuck, you got me. Okay, well, what about this? You know, and that's me the whole time for a fucking hour laying in bed on my phone.
Got to do with how densely the atoms are packed within the material and how strong of a magnetic attraction they have to each other would kind of, base something breakable or soft versus something, super hard.
Right. Yeah. No, it made sense as I started reading into it. It just, the initial, seeing it and like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
And
it's a sticker shock.
Yeah.
And like Paul said about like magnets work, and that's exactly like, atoms they work just like tiny, 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 tiny magnets, Exactly. So they'll repel and they'll attract, and play with some magnets and you'll have atoms. Michael said entanglement, but I don't know. Isn't that what Will Smith's wife had with that singer? Didn't she say she had an entanglement going on?
Entanglement, yeah. Is that what it's called though?
What's that? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just thinking about Will.
I don't know either. And I'm believe me, I'm still here. I'm fucking digging still, man. It's irritating me that I can't find this because I'm telling you, it went so much deeper in it. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm all the way back in the fucking January of my search history, and I don't see it. So, but either way, yeah.
You search on the same one?
I search on Grok, and it tells you all your chats that you've had with Grok.
Oh, I got you going through your chat search.
Yeah, I'm going
each
through.
one. I thought you had one long ass string of everything you've asked Grok in a whole conversation.
No, I think it was a post I saw. So then, with every post on X, there's a little option to click on a Grok symbol, and it explains the post. So I think that's where I started at, and then I just started bombing it with questions. Like I said, I was going to outsmart AI that night. I'm like, there's no way this is true, and I'm going to prove it wrong. And it didn't work.
It's true as fuck, dude.
It is. It really is. It really is.
That's crazy stuff, dude.
So maybe I hope y'all learned something on here tonight. Maybe somebody did, because like I said, I learned something that night. So then I mentioned it to Justin the other day, and he's like, yeah, kind of like, yeah, everybody knows that.
Yeah, fuck, that's just
yeah, it's common
new to
knowledge,
me, dude.
man. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, science is awesome. I love
really
some science.
No, it really is. I think that's what caught my attention on it, was just the science behind it. I was like, oh fuck, this is amazing. And then you could tell it to some people, and they're like, so. And I'm like, you don't find that fucking just amazing? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But because I can see, my wife's probably watching, but I could probably tell her that, and she'd have been like, so what? Who cares?
Well, did you know it would take roughly 23,000 to 135,000 slaps to cook a chicken?
Is that what it would take? Slaps?
Yep. Slaps.
Like, I guess it generates heat?
Yes, it does.
I'm going to try that.
Thermodynamics, dog.
I'm going to spank my chicken until it
says dependent
on fire.
Yeah, just whack it a bunch of times.
All right.
But it's dependent on the slap speed, energy transfer,
Yeah. Well, what I want to do, I'm going to start hitting the table and see how many times it takes for my hand to go through it.
Yes.
Because apparently you said it's not impossible, right?
It is very possible. It's just not probable.
All right. But that doesn't say it's impossible. So I'm going to start. I might even live
start
stream.
Now. Yes.
Yeah, we'll just live stream it for fucking years of just hitting the fucking table. And...
No, you might lose a hand by the time you go through it.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Shit.
Yeah, it's neat shit.
Anyway. Well, anything else that interesting?
Ooh, that's hard on the top, dude.
Yeah,
I do.
It's getting late anyway. You ain't got to start nothing new unless you want to.
No.
All right, get on it. And look, she's not really making contact with her face. You know,
No, she's
it's
really
the
not.
atoms fighting each other, man.
So I have that.
That's perfect.
I love it.
Perfect.
Hey, that is funny, dude.
Yep. All right. With that, let's wrap it up. I hope you learned something tonight. I really do. I hope we blew your fucking mind, because that's what we get on here to do every fucking time.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Until Friday, y'all be good. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to be back in just a couple days to entertain you people, and this is free. So I hope you fucking appreciate it. Matt, we love you. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And until next time, y'all be good, guys. Tell them bye.
Bye.
Adios.